We are all familiar with the standard issue blasters like the Rebellion's A280C and the Empire's E11 blaster rifles, but let's take a look at some heavy gunners in Star Wars. Starting off with Blaze Malbus, who we see in Rogue One, wielding a MWC-35 Staccato Lightning repeating cannon. One of the more unique heavy blaster cannons, as it was powered by a condensed K-grade conductor cell and cooled by a tank of R717 refrigerant. And it was charged by a Galvin circuitry charging belt which had two firing modes, standard and charged, and the charged fire blasts were equivalent to the firepower of 5 laser rifles, and the only downside of the charged shot was that it wasn't rapid fire but pump action. The blaster also came equipped with a electroscope smart targeting array and was made by Morellian Weapons conglomerate. Pez Vizsla wielded a M55 repeating blaster rotary cannon, and it also featured a charging belt which could fire without end with 3 barrels. It was well suited for the larger Mandalorian, and it was developed by Blastech Industries. There are little specifics about this weapon, but the charging cannon appears to be in sync with his jetpacks as the weapon's power source. Similar to Pez's M55, there was the Z6 rotary blaster cannon, a staple in the Star Wars universe being used in the Clone Wars and the Galactic Civil War. It was light enough to be operated by a single heavy weapon specialist without a tripod, and the Z6 incorporated a rotary assembly of 6 barrels, each with its own actuating chamber wrapped in coolant-lined core, meaning it didn't have a charging belt. And the rotary blaster cannon required a power pack to operate, and after about 200 shots, the power pack must be replaced. This weapon could also be attached to a power generator for longer use, and it was developed by Merr-Sonn Munitions Incorporated and Blastech Industries. The Z6 was seldom used by the Empire, but that's because they had the Eweb blaster cannon, the most powerful heavy repeating blaster cannon in the Imperial arsenal. The Eweb featured rigid mounts to counteract the kinetic energy created by the weapon's formidable firepower. It was typically operated by a 2-person crew, however its time to set up limited its effectiveness, and in consequence various Imperial crews pre-charged its Class 4T3 power generator for faster assembly. It could not be freely used like the Z6 and was a stationary weapon due to its power generator, and it was primarily used for Imperial defenses as it was often entrenched, as if the power generator was shot, it would explode. And this was the fatal flaw of this blaster cannon, but it is overall one of the most powerful cannons in the battlefield, easily cutting down soldiers and doing heavy damage to light and medium armored vehicles including starfighters. And this was also developed by Blastech Industries and Merr-Sonn Munitions Incorporated. The little brother to the Eweb was the Mark II medium blaster cannon, an Eweb variant. A more portable but still mounted on a tripod or vehicle, but it did not require a power generator, and it could also produce a shield protecting the primary user, and this blaster cannon was only developed by Merr-Sonn's Munitions Incorporated. During the pirate siege of Navarro, we can see them set up a unknown heavy blaster cannon, and if anyone knows the name of this, please feel free to comment it down below. And Cara Dune also wields a drum blaster, which we don't know the name of, but it does look very similar to a RT-97C blaster rifle. And finally, there is Moroff's Vulk TAU-6-23 Blastmill rotary blaster cannon. Moroff is the only character in Star Wars to wield one of these, and because of this there is little information on this blaster cannon, but it had 6 rotary barrels similar to the Z6, and I can't tell if it had a charging belt as Moroff does carry a large equipment backpack, but I would assume it was a stationary cannon, but due to the size and strength of the Gregorian he could carry it with ease. There is no manufacturer on record for this, but it was most likely developed by Blastech or Merr-Sonn Munitions Incorporated. So that is what some heavy gunners look like in the Star Wars universe. If I missed any blaster cannons or characters who wield blaster cannons, feel free to comment them down below. Subscribe if you would like, and until next video, goodbye.